settle in, and Blake off to a good start. Coleman's going to have to reel him in as Arnell Hughes goes by Coleman and goes by Blake and takes the win. Whoa. The Olympian from Great Britain. And how...
What up, YouTube? I want to make this video about some of the things I hear when I speak to athletes about running track. I was a football player. I ran track. It was tremendous for my development. I was not very fast my freshman year, not very fast my sophomore year, but I learned how to work hard, and I got pretty quick my last 2 years when it came to track, and it was huge and beneficial when it came to playing football. I do understand when an athlete has a spring sport that they can't run track. Back east, they had indoor track and field, so you could run in the winter. But for me, track has been extremely important. It was extremely important for my development, and I'm going to share a couple things here. I mean, I could share 1,000 things, but I'm just going to share 3 things here that are beneficial when it comes to track and field and then transferring over to your sport. The first thing is just efficiency, learning how to run with better technique. Basically, you burn less energy when you're running with better technique. And it allows you to, when you're pushing off the ground, you're working on speed development, and a lot of what sports is efficient. You know, if you're efficient, and especially efficient in your running, you would understand, you know, if you've been out on the field, let's just use a soccer field for example, that the better you run. And if you're Mbappe, you know, I will say this, a little side note, Mbappe, I've been watching him. I knew who Mbappe was, but I tried to, during the World Cup, my son was pulling me into everything. So I really was watching. Obviously that last match was amazing. I think I was sold on this man. Like, this is amazing what he's done. But yeah, we could talk about Mbappe, but if you look at him and you watch him, he's just sprinting. You know, he's striking the ground. He has a nice, beautiful stride. And I was like, whoa, he's been working with obviously some coaches, or he just developed that on his own. But either way, more efficient. He's, it looks like him, and I can name some others, but he's burning less energy out there, and he just looks amazing. And that's what I mean by sprinting. Why should you run track? That's what I mean by track. Why should you run track? To be more efficient, not only for your sport, but just for yourself. So you can run and not be as exhausted as some athletes get because their arms may be flailing around or whatever, and they're just burning energy, and nobody likes doing that. That's not fun. So that's the first reason I say, you know, go out there and run track and try it out. The second thing that I want to jump into about, you know, running track, you learn acceleration. Now, here's the thing, and I say this a lot, and I want to play this kind of both ways. If you play football, you know, soccer, even basketball, depending on, you know, I ain't gonna say too much about basketball because it's when we got 94 feet. But in honesty, I would always tell my athletes, most of soccer players, football players, you know, they understand at least the initial understanding of what acceleration is, get to point A to point B, and stopping and doing all that. That's a level of acceleration.
Johnson trying to bounce it outside. Down the line. Uh-oh. Watch out. See you later. Touchdown.
Track just gets you better at it. Because once you understand better how to accelerate, or you have coaches and let's say track coaches teaching you better, or you're watching athletes who are faster. Let's say you're at a track meet, you're just paying attention, you know, why is that girl or boy so fast? Acceleration is what's so big in track. Acceleration is what propels you forward, what gets your body moving, and getting that foot back on the ground, going back to being efficient in acceleration. And that's just the process that we all as athletes, you know, as you get better at acceleration, you become a better athlete. When you become more efficient at acceleration, you become a better athlete. And here's the biggest thing that I picked. Like I said, I had a bunch of different topics that I could have brought up, but I just wanted to bring in these 3. The last one I'll go into is injury prevention. That is the biggest thing. If you're injured, you ain't playing. Or you ain't running. So track and field, you know, getting better efficiency with your stride technique, understanding what the stride is, understanding building my hip flexors, you know, those things are great when it comes to track because you're around it all the time, especially if you're going to track and you see faster athletes. I mean, what's wrong with asking your peer how they got that fast? Hopefully they're nice to you, but my athletes have always been nice. But anyway, and then acceleration, you know, you're accelerating, you're more efficient in your acceleration, and it honestly prevents a lot of injuries. And a lot of injuries that I see And, you know, in the recovery video, I talked about some of the injury active recovery video, which is over here. I talked about some of the things that I see often. And then the biggest thing that and again, I'm going to say it again in this video, is hip flexors and lower back, you know, strengthening in the lower back. Injury prevention is the biggest thing when it comes to sport. I don't care what sport you play. Recovery is huge. Working the 3 points backwards, we have injury prevention, which is, again, if you're injured, you can't play. Or maybe you can, but you understand what I'm trying to get at. Going back one more, acceleration is huge. It's huge when it comes to any sport you play. And if track and field will bring that to you, because you have to accelerate, the gun goes off, you have to get your feet moving. And I trust and believe your coach is doing an amazing job and he's talking to you about acceleration. If not, you can message me, I'll talk to you about it. But the biggest, running efficiency, which honestly, it just, if you look cool, and most coaches, I would hear, and I'll kind of a quick story, I would hear a lot of coaches discuss or say to me, oh, that athlete looks real good. You know, they understand how to run. But I always would say, are they applying force? You know, we can discuss good technique because some athletes can mimic very well, but applying force, and once the athlete understands applying force is really not efficient for them, and they usually get injured. So we have to, you know, dial it back and start working on how to be efficient, how to apply force, then go into acceleration so we don't get injured again. So here's the conscious part about this wonderful video. You don't know what you don't know, but when you know better, you do better. And that's all we want to do, is do better, be better athletes, be better people, be better human beings in general. So until next time, YouTube, peace. Hey folks, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh yeah, hit that bell.